Last night on the NFL Network, you could see the Rams, maybe their swan song at home, beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Rich Eisen was there, host of the NFL Network, and he joins us as he gets ready to fly back to Los Angeles. It felt like a funeral there at the end. Did it feel like that to you, Rich?
No, actually it was a celebration. The fans were really into it. And maybe it's just because, let's put it this way, it helps to have Kurt Warner and Marshall Faulk on your set there when fans are feeling good about themselves and about the Rams. They were going crazy. But, they definitely had a sense that this could be it, and we're chanting, keep our Rams from about the, 12-minute mark of the fourth quarter till about the fourth-minute mark of the fourth quarter when it began to maybe slip away. So they paid attention a little bit more to down and distance at that point, and then when it was all over, they were chanting, keep our Rams. So there was a sense of it that maybe this was it, but they were partying.
What do you think is going to happen?
I have no earthly idea, Dan, and anybody who says that they do is full of it. Nobody knows. Zero. Nobody knows. It's 32 billionaires in a room trying to figure this thing out. Some of them are partial to Kroenke. Some of them are partial to Dean Spanos of the Chargers. Some of them like the Carson Project. Some of them like, which is what the Raiders and Chargers are associated with. Some of them like the project that Stan Kroenke has that'll be built near LAX. Nobody knows, and there's a vote coming up in mid-January that may or may not even be taken. I think there is going to be one, but I don't think anybody has the 24 votes required.
What do you think makes the most sense football-wise?
Makes most sense football-wise is to have the Rams and somebody from the AFC. Obviously having two teams from the same division makes no sense football-wise in the same stadium.
Yep.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why it works for the Jets and the Giants. They're in different conferences and face each other once every 4 years, different opponents coming in. So the answer that I've heard that many people are saying, because it's all conjecture, this is all rumor, Dan, is that the Rams and Chargers share a site, and that would be the one in Inglewood near where the Forum is and where LAX is, and the Raiders move in with the Niners up in Santa Clara. And that everybody gets a new stadium, and it's an AFC and an NFC team in the same house, and everybody could move on. But I don't know the possibilities of that happening.
The stereotypical LA sports fan. They
will show up mid-first and leave mid-fourth because of the traffic. And I'm now one of them, by the way. I'm not an East Coaster making fun.
What about Sunday, though? If you're there and you get to tailgate, does that change the stereotype?
Yeah, I think so, Dan. Right? I mean, but you know the LA sports fan too, right? I mean, you've been to some of these sporting events, and I think there's nobody's going to be there, with their face painted outside of the LA City Council demanding the team. It's just not the LA sports fan. But if the team comes, it will be, or teams come, they'll be fully embraced. Certainly, if all of them have Los Angeles history. So there are many people in LA who remember the LA Chargers before they went to San Diego,
Yep.
The LA Raiders, and we all know about the LA Rams too. So it would work for whoever comes.
Are you going to go see Star Wars with the kids?
Well, I think, Dan, I need to vet it first. This is PG-13, right? Have you heard anything about? Because you're not really. Are you a Star Wars guy?
I've yet to see one.
One of them?
Yeah.
You haven't seen any of them?
No.
Oh, I think. How did that happen?
When you're out shooting hoops and, I'm winning games, I mean, I just never had time. I was in the frat house. I mean, there was things to do.
Are you playing the jock card?
I don't know. I never saw an episode of Star Trek.
Wow, come on now. Come on now.
I couldn't tell you an episode. If you gave me $1,000 and say, give me the topic of an episode of Star Trek, I couldn't give you one.
Well, you could guess the one where Captain Kirk puts it all on the line and Spock saves the day because he was level-headed. I mean, you just named about half the Star Trek.
Okay, so that I never saw. I don't do the. Although I love the landing on the moon and fascinated with Neil Armstrong and John Glenn. I'm not interested in Star Wars or Star Trek.
How is that?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
But yeah, I need to vet it first. the funny thing is, because Zan and Coop, my two oldest. I was genuinely concerned when I sat him down to see the first Star Wars. I told him, I'm like, look, here's the deal. Some of this stuff isn't real. A lot of it it's not real, but I mean, some of the stuff is all storytelling. Don't worry about it. He goes, is this the one where Vader gets his hand cut off, or that Luke gets his hand cut off? And I'm like, no, that's the next one. How do you know about that? And then we're just going through it, and he goes, so is Leia's Luke's sister, right? And I'm like, he's giving me one big spoiler after another in my lifetime, because the kids all talk about it in kindergarten and first grade. So I'm thinking I'm going back and forth. Maybe I don't need to vet it, but he's fired up. The family, we're going to see it. We are going to see it.
What about the concussion movie?
Yeah, I've already seen it, actually.
Yeah, what'd you think?
I thought it's really good. I mean, Will Smith is great in it. Albert Brooks steals every scene that he is in. There are some scenes in it that do not portray the National Football League in a good light at all, as you might imagine. Yeah. And there are other ones, too, where Paul Tagliabue finds out about what's going on the front page of the New York Times and then goes into the boardroom and the doors shut and some very angry-looking white men who have white hair and suits and ties are looking very serious as the boardroom door shuts. And I've been in many NFL meetings in the league offices. None of them look like that. Absolutely none of them look like that. So there's some stuff that's done for effect, but it's a very serious story that does not portray the NFL in a good light.
Safe travels back, and good luck with the Star Wars, The Force Awakens, or whatever that is. McLevin, give Rich the poll question here before we say goodbye.
Okay, you could start a team with any rookie. Would it be Mariota, Winston, Todd Gurley, and we put on Ronald Darby for the Bills and Amari Cooper?
Why? Who's the Bills fan there that insisted Darby?
Because Mel Kiper listed him, and I said to McLevin, nobody cares.
Yeah, Kiper has him as his number one impact rookie because he's a shutdown guy.
What does Mayock have to say about him, McLevin?
I'm not sure. Well, Darby,
I'm a Mayock guy. See, I'm a Mayock guy. That's so. Marcus Peters is the man. I mean, in Kansas City, he could win Defensive Rookie of the Year if you want to throw that in there. All that said, I love Gurley. I just love him. He is awesome. He is just stupendous, and he is the guy that a lot of the fans there have fallen in love with, which might make the Rams leaving a little bit more difficult for them to swallow. Do you see how I tied this whole thing together?
I like that.
Going out the door, DP.
Well, maybe he could be their Eric Dickerson.
Yes, correct. Jerome Bettis, or Marshall Faulk, et cetera, et cetera.
Wendell Tyler. Maybe not Wendell Tyler. All right. Safe travels back.
Thanks, DP.
All right, buddy. That's Rich Eisen, NFL Network, and, of course, DirecTV.